Welcome to the Dress Up Mom. I have been growing out a Pixie for the last 6 months, and it would have been much more difficult if I didn't have a really great stylist that I know and trust and knows my hair. It's actually been kind of painless, and she's given me these great styles sort of all along. Today, I'm going to take you and introduce you to my hairstylist, Christina. We're going to talk about growing out a Pixie, how to find a good hairstylist, and all things related to hair. But first, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at The Dress Up Mom. So now, let's go get my hair cut. Hey!
Hi! Good to see you.
Good to see you. This is Christina, my fabulous hairstylist. We are at Sweet Al in Encinitas. And I have known Christina for way too long. It's been like 10, 15 years.
Wow.
We actually met when Christina was in beauty school. And we've been following her around since then.
Faithful client.
Yeah, and so one of the things we wanted to talk about is how you find a good hair person, a hairstylist. And the way I found Christina, I was new to the area, and her sister worked with me, and I loved her sister's hair. So I asked
Very
her,
similar hair types.
Oh, that's even better. And so I asked her, where do you get your hair cut? She goes, my sister cuts it at home. She's going to beauty school. So that's how we started coming to you. So how would you recommend that people find a good hairstylist?
Really similar to the way you did. I would go around wherever you're shopping, you're going to school, whatever you're doing, find somebody's hair that you like and ask them where they get their hair done. It's a huge compliment for a person. Don't ever feel weird about walking up to a person and being like, I love your hair, where do you? Everyone loves to hear that their hair is cute.
I brought my phone because I sometimes show her stuff on Pinterest that I've been pinning. But what should we do here?
Well, consultation is always really important for the beginning of any haircut. No matter how long you've been going to the person, you always want to talk to them about what your hair is doing right now and where you want it to go. Like you said, pictures, what your goal is. Just reiterating that is good every time. So I know that we're growing out a Pixie, which was adorable on Rajka, and now we've gotten into the bob stage. Now, from here we can kind of go any direction.
Christina, what would you say that is the biggest mistake people make with their stylist?
With their stylist, isn't growing out a Pixie or just in general?
Just in general.
I think usually the biggest problem that people have is lack of communication. So between you and I could say, let's cut your hair short over the ear. And in my mind, that is over the ear. You see your ear. In your mind, that covers your ear over the ear.
Oh.
You have to decide what exactly each thing means, and you can't just assume that they understand what you're talking about. That's why pictures are really great to have, because you're both on the same page. And if you brought a photo in that, Rajka, this just isn't your hair type, this isn't going to happen, your hairstylist is the one who should be telling you the truth. You don't want a hairstylist that's just a yes man who's going to say, okay, let's do anything. You want them to be honest with you, or at least work with you on that. Maybe your hair can't do exactly that, but what do you like about this? Maybe we can do something that will work with your hair similar to this style.
Okay, great. And so what would you say bugs you the most about clients? How to be a good client.
How to be a good client. Be consistent with your appointments. Mm-hmm. That's a huge part of it, because a lot of people they really need their hair cut every 6 weeks, and they go every 3 months. And then when they come in, they expect miracles. And you go, well, there's a little bit of a maintenance, side involved in it. And I understand that budgets and everybody's different. I totally get that. But it's kind of along the same lines as, being just having that conversation, having communication. It's just this style is going to need upkeep. This look is going to need, you know, and if somebody comes in, and they should have come in 6 weeks, they come in 2 months and they say, I just can't do this, I just can't have it. Go, yeah, you're right. It's grown out completely. It isn't what we cut. You know, you should have been in here 4 weeks ago, maybe, you know. So that's a huge part of it. It's just being consistent, being realistic. But again, that's up to me as well to be there. You know, you wouldn't try to fix your own car if you don't know what's wrong. You take it to a mechanic, you know.
Perfect.
You can't tell a mechanic, it's my transition. And they're like, okay, cool, yeah, it is. Could be your brakes, who knows, you know. So you let the professional do their job.
Great. Now, how is it that you've made my Pixie grow out so like fun and not, I was dreading it because I've heard so many people talk about hating growing out a Pixie. First off, she gave me an unbelievable Pixie cut that I loved and wore for a couple years. And then I just wanted to have a little change. I'll probably go back to a Pixie again, especially now that I know it was fun and easy to grow it out. So what did you do?
You know, my personal philosophy is just to have fun in the process. You know, you don't want to have to think of, okay, I have a Pixie, now for the next 4 months I'm gonna have this horrendous, hideous hair.
Right.
I don't think that that has to happen. I don't think that has to be. I think you can have fun in the in-between stages. And that's important as well for me to remember for you. Not just look at you and go, well, it's gonna suck for a while. Yeah, there may be a few things that you don't love here and there, but you'll work through them and we'll work through them. And it's important to make sure that you, as the client, are still having fun with it. Because if your hair isn't fun, then what's the point?
I agree.
So yeah, typically I like to ask the client what their styling regimen is. That's a huge point or part of a hairstyle and a haircut is knowing, are you gonna do this at home? Are you going to? Because I can give you a fantastic haircut and style and flat iron and everything, but if there's, you know, a 1 in 50 chance that you're gonna do that yourself every day, there's no point, you know, because you're just gonna have hair that you fight with all the time. So I'm really big on giving people hairstyles and haircuts that work with them. They're cute, trendy, modern, but still work with their lifestyle. So what we're doing now is just going through the haircut. I've dried it, and I mostly just dried it by hand. With Rajka's hair, you don't want to get in with a round brush because you're going to create this big giant bouffant that then you have to tame, and you don't want to have to tame hair after that. So I dried it by hand and then flat ironed it. Now she isn't normally an everyday flat iron kind of girl. It's a nice look for her to have if she does want to do something more special, go out, have something sleek, chic, you know, maybe for the holidays you'll do something like this. But her everyday look, if it looks good straight, completely straight and done, it's gonna look great, wavy, curly, just out of hot yoga, whatever you have. And a huge part of it too is, and this is a personal preference, but I think that it works the best, honestly. I do a lot of my especially short haircuts, I do half wet, half dry. If I was going to do the whole thing wet, if we wore our hair wet all the time, okay, that makes sense, you know, but you don't. You wear it and then it dries and then you go, oh crap, this doesn't look good dry. It looked good wet, but ooh, what is this? And so you really want to go through, especially with very detailed cuts. You want to make sure, you know, these sides, like there's a tiny bit off on this one side that I want to bring up a little bit. I never would have seen that wet at all. So with her hair, especially with it's thick too. So with the thickness, we want to go through, texturize a little more, take out some weight in places that it needs it and leave it where it doesn't. So we can ultimately leave her as much hair as possible upon her head. We're still filling in these sides. You got these layers that are still gonna grow. We didn't really take any length off those. If anything, we just took a little bit of weight out. Brought this back up nicely, which I'm gonna show you as well. And brought it nice and shaped in, following the head shape, which keeps it look very feminine, no matter what the short haircut is. And the bangs, I think we're just kind of having fun with. We're gonna play with. We're gonna see where we go from here. If she wants to grow them out with the rest of the length, she wants to keep them shorter. There's a lot of different ways you can go with that and keep it fun.
Yeah, so I've been really enjoying my hair journey, and I think what it's made me do is realize that I'm just gonna keep on a hair journey my whole life. No need to like keep it the same. Maybe I'll stick with something for a little while, but I could never do it without you, my honey. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you doing this and letting people know everything that goes into cutting hair, finding a good person. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun doing it. And until next time, dress it up a little.